I think one thing women should know, men, when they're divorced, they still want the same thing at 60 that they wanted when they were 18 and 20 and 30.
Dating some woman over 50, what don't women know that they need to know that you're looking for?
So we should put out? Is that what it is?
Or not?
I think you should think about it ahead of time and what you want to do.
And you hit the key, really. Honesty is the best policy. Because every woman is attractive. Every woman is who she wants to be, but not who she thinks you want her to be.
So I kind of like the fact that they know who they are, they're not still discovering themselves, as long as they're accepting of who they are at that time.
So on the third date?
Well, there's no magic number. What's right for you?
Not the first.
And what we see a lot in relationships is there are a lot of assumptions. So, don't assume, hey, I'm dating and this is what I'm looking for. So this guy that I'm seeing, that's what he's looking for too.
And it's very simple. And I found that if you're more upfront, the more upfront they're going to be. So it's like, here's my likes, here's my dislikes. Great. If we're compatible, awesome. If not, let's just be friends and move on.
You need to ask, what are your goals? What are your plans? What do you want from this relationship? You really need to ask and not assume.
I just tell them right off the bat, I'm not looking to go to bed tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for the offer, but I don't know you so good.
One thing that's interesting that I found, starting over again after so many years, is that when you're ignored for so long and you don't have any kind of affection, that once you do get back out there and you start dating, and you tend to read way too much into the little bit of affection that you get from someone.
Right.
Yeah. And
I'm just so grateful for it.
somebody loves me. And I think women it's true though.
The women these days, and a strong woman does not intimidate.
Okay.
But a woman that is a little too forward, that way does. I'm looking for a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm looking to get jumped, that's a different game altogether.
Right.
And that's not mine.
I guess I'm stating, and I'm asking if you're finding this with other women, is you really go back to a mentality of where you left off, which for me was, late teens, early 20s. I never really dated, so now I'm out there dating, and you're just as stupid as you were back then.
Yeah, that is what I see, right?
Okay. So I'm not unique again.
No. And again, ignoring those red flags because you got, somebody showed you a little bit of affection.
Right.
Well, I'll ignore, this big thing.
Plus, it would scare the hell out of me. Men, I think these days are probably more intimidated. Women are much more forward now than they ever were before. And so getting into a situation like that, I would want a cooling off period. I would be the one to want to make the call the next day.
What kind of games do you play in starting over about not being too out there? Or, you would think that at this point you just tell it like it is. Or
Well, that would be my recommendation. And it's funny you say that because I have some women now that I'm seeing and they talk about games. And, as a relationship therapist, I don't want there to be any game.
First 6 months of dating is what they think that you want. And usually within that 6 month period, that was always my criteria. 6 months. If it lasted longer than that, there was a potential for a relationship and I would see who that person really was by then.
Early in the relationship, that's probably the best it's going to be. So if there's some problems right there in the beginning, they're not going to get any better as time goes on.
So the women thought, oh, this is a really fun guy, he's all crazy, does lots of things, he's funny, has a good sense of humor, he's adventurous, gets out and does stuff. And then suddenly it's like, oh, yeah, I don't like that so much in a long-term relationship.
So yeah, just be able to say, no, this isn't going to work, thanks, and move on. It's not another failure, it's just it wasn't a good match.
That's a good point, to think that it's not another failure, because I think sometimes it's like, oh, God, again, it's not going to work out again, but not everybody's meant to be together.
But it's difficult to find those people that are comfortable out the chute. Everybody carries baggage into a relationship. Some of them carry boxcars, but it's okay. If there's something there, you'll get to it and get through it, and your relationship goes from there.
what do men really look for at this stage in life? Other than sex.
Other than sex. Well, they're looking at their mortality too and wanting to get the most out of the rest of their life. So I think some of the goals are shared in that sense, and that they want to be happy and fulfilled and enjoy the time that they have.
I think the approach is too complicated a lot of times. Just chill, relax, and we'll bring it out.
Well, I think for women in general, you guys need to really trust your instincts more.
I think it has more to do with, being with somebody that you would enjoy being with besides just, the sex part. So I think you got to do both.
Trust yourself, trust your friends. I think one of the best things that you guys can do is have this great network of friends like you guys have. That's so important.
Okay, just a couple of easy things to do. Stay fit, stay funny, and be kind. Just be nice to us. You know, guys are really pretty simple.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. Or do they? An interesting discovery my friends and I made was that after 30 years, our return to the dating scene brought back many of the insecurities of our 20s, specifically our preoccupation with what men really want. Perhaps the answer lies with restating that question. Is finding the right person as easy as being true to what we really want?